The screen flickers to life, a sterile light illuminating millions of faces across human and alien colonies alike. There is no announcement, no prelude, just a sudden, deafening silence that demands attention. The Galactic Empire's emblem, cold and unyielding, fills the frame. A voice, monotone and emotionless, begins to speak. Today justice is delivered. 60,000 rebels, traitors to peace and order, will pay for their defiance. The words hit like hammer blows. The screen transitions to an expansive execution chamber. Rows upon rows of gallows stretch infinitely into the distance, the bodies of 60,000 human prisoners standing on platforms beneath taut ropes. The chamber is a monolith of death, every angle calculated for maximum efficiency and cruelty. The camera pans slowly, methodically, capturing every face. But the faces are devoid of detail, blurred by some unseen technology. They are rendered anonymous, stripped of individuality, as if to erase their humanity entirely. Mothers clutch children to their sides, soldiers stand stoic, and elderly men and women tremble on weakened legs. Their identities mean nothing to the Empire, their deaths are a message. Humanity, the voice continues, has proven incapable of unity. This display shall serve as a reminder of the cost of rebellion. Across the galaxy, humans watch in muted horror. Families in underground bunkers, hidden away from Imperial surveillance, cling to one another. Some cry silently, others sit in stunned disbelief. On Earth, the streets are eerily empty, every citizen huddled around screens, forced to witness their own kind's annihilation. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. Each number echoes ominously through the broadcast. On one of the outer colonies, a child grips her father's hand, her small voice trembling as she asks, "Why won't anyone stop this?" He has no answer. The countdown reaches 0. The trapdoors open. 60,000 bodies drop in unison, the sound of ropes snapping taut reverberating like a thunderclap. The image lingers, unflinching, as the lifeless figures sway gently. The broadcast doesn't end there. The camera pans once more, capturing the enormity of the event. A soft hum begins to rise, subtle at first, then growing louder. It's the sound of machinery, automatic systems resetting the gallows. The Empire makes no effort to disguise its efficiency. The sentence has been carried out. Order is restored, the voice declares before the feed abruptly cuts off. In the silence that follows, the galaxy holds its breath. The enormity of what just occurred spreads like a plague, sinking deep into the consciousness of every witness. On Earth, anger brews beneath the surface. In the outer colonies, whispers of rebellion begin to rise. For now, though, despair dominates. A small flicker of static crosses the screen before it goes dark, almost imperceptible. Just a glitch, perhaps. Or the beginning of something else. The days following the broadcast are suffocating. Silence grips the human colonies, a silence thick with despair. Streets are empty, workplaces abandoned. Conversations are hushed, broken by sobs or whispered curses. Humanity has been brought to its knees, stripped of hope, their spirits crushed beneath the weight of 60,000 lives extinguished without mercy. But in the quiet corners of the galaxy, whispers begin to spread. The first is heard on a distant mining colony, a distorted voice crackling through an encrypted channel. It speaks no more than a sentence before vanishing, but the words are etched into the minds of all who hear them. The Faceless will answer to death. The message repeats in other places: a crowded refugee station, an earthbound freighter, an abandoned bunker on Mars. It's the same voice every time, low, mechanical, and impossible to trace. No one knows where it comes from or who sends it. The Empire dismisses it as a hoax, but the words strike a nerve. For the grieving, for the angry, it is a spark. In the dim light of a hidden base on Luna, a group of survivors gathers around a makeshift console. The image on the screen is blurred, the figure speaking unrecognizable. It is neither male nor female, neither human nor alien. Its voice carries an eerie calmness. The Empire believes they have silenced you, it says. They think you are broken. But they have only planted the seeds of their own destruction. Justice comes for the Faceless. I am death, and I will not rest until they fall. The survivors exchange glances. Some are skeptical, others see an opportunity. The figure, this so-called death, gives no instructions, no clear plan. Yet its presence alone is enough to ignite something long buried. In the days that follow, humanity's underground networks come alive. At first, it's small acts of defiance. An Imperial supply transport vanishes in an asteroid field. A communication relay malfunctions, cutting off key Imperial transmissions. But these aren't accidents. Each act of sabotage is deliberate, accompanied by messages scrawled in code or broadcast in bursts. Justice for the faceless. The Empire reacts swiftly, ramping up its surveillance, but the attacks continue. Humans, once divided by fear and mistrust, begin working together in secret. Scientists repurpose mining equipment into weapons. Engineers hack Imperial drones, turning them against their creators. Across the colonies, a quiet rebellion takes shape, united by the enigmatic figure known only as Death. On the capital world of the Empire, cracks begin to show. High-ranking officials argue in private chambers, their confidence waning. They dismiss death as a myth, yet the effects of its influence are undeniable. The faceless executioner who narrated the broadcast is moved to an undisclosed location, an unprecedented act of precaution. And still the whispers grow louder. Families of the executed find purpose in the rebellion, their grief transformed into resolve. For the first time since the broadcast, a glimmer of hope pierces through the darkness. Death's voice echoes in their minds, relentless and unyielding. The faceless will pay. Justice is inevitable. The Empire's outer colonies, once silent under the shadow of oppression, ignite with resistance. Sabotage becomes commonplace, striking at supply routes, communication hubs, and power grids. The Empire dismisses these actions as disorganized rebellion, but the precision behind each strike suggests otherwise. Every act is calculated, coordinated, and devastatingly effective. Death's influence spreads like wildfire, transcending borders and barriers. The faceless figure becomes both a rallying cry and a symbol of unity. Despite no one knowing who, or what, it is, Death's message resonates. Its broadcasts are brief, cryptic, and yet deeply inspiring. The faceless took 60,000 lives. For every soul, justice will rise. Their reign ends not in silence but in fire. In hidden workshops, humanity's ingenuity blossoms. Engineers fashion weapons from mining lasers, hacking drones to infiltrate Imperial strongholds. Scientists work tirelessly, turning agricultural equipment into tools of war. Civilians who once cowered in fear now train in makeshift militias. Farmers, mechanics, and merchants transform into soldiers. Death's instructions are few but clear. Its voice, distorted yet commanding, echoes in clandestine meetings. Strike where they least expect. Show them the cost of oppression. Resistance cells across the galaxy synchronize their attacks with unnerving accuracy. While the Empire struggles to adapt, its rigid systems falter. An Imperial fleet dispatched to crush the rebellion vanishes in the asteroid belt near Jupiter. Rumors swirl of Death orchestrating the ambush, luring the fleet into a trap where magnetic mines obliterate the flagship. The Empire denies the loss, but whispers of their vulnerability spread. The faceless executioner, hidden in a fortified compound, becomes the Resistance's next target. Death's voice pierces the Empire's encrypted channels. Your symbol of fear will face judgment. You cannot hide. Fear grips the Imperial elite. For the first time they are the hunted. Across the galaxy, humanity's defiance grows bolder. A convoy transporting Imperial officials is hijacked, the occupants held as leverage. The Empire retaliates with public executions, but these displays, once paralyzing, now fuel the fire. Death's message accompanies every act of rebellion. Every life they take strengthens our resolve. The faceless will fall. The Resistance scores its first major victory on the industrial colony of Aegis 9. Imperial forces, overconfident in their superiority, are lured into a trap. The colony's workers, once slaves to the Empire, rise up under Death's guidance. Improvised explosives collapse entire factories onto advancing troops. Drones hacked by the Resistance rain destruction from above. By the time reinforcements arrive, the Empire's hold on Aegis 9 is broken. In the aftermath, survivors send a broadcast of their own. It's not polished or professional, just a simple message from ordinary people who refuse to yield. We are not faceless. We are human. We are free. The Empire's grip weakens further with each passing day. High-ranking officials argue over how to combat a rebellion that seems to strike from the shadows. Death remains elusive, its identity and origin a mystery. Some believe it is a human leader, others a rogue AI. For the rebels it doesn't matter. Death is their voice, their strength, and their hope. And it is relentless. The faceless once commanded fear. Now they will know it. The Resistance moves swiftly, its actions no longer small strikes but an orchestrated campaign of destruction. Across the galaxy, Imperial strongholds fall in rapid succession, their once impenetrable defenses undone by sabotage, infiltration, and guerrilla tactics. For the first time, the Empire begins to retreat, abandoning outer colonies to consolidate its forces around the core systems. Death's voice emerges again, this time with clarity and finality. The time has come. The Faceless will answer for their crimes. The heart of their empire must be severed. The message spreads through encrypted channels, reaching every corner of the rebellion. It is not a call for vengeance but for justice, a reckoning for the lives stolen in the broadcast. The Resistance's target is clear: the Galactic Empire's capital world, a fortress surrounded by fleets and shielded by layers of defenses. To attack it directly would be suicide, but Death's plans are already in motion. Over the past months, the rebellion has planted agents within the Empire's core systems, gathering intelligence, mapping weaknesses and exploiting fractures in their command structure. As the fleet approaches the capital, the Empire launches its counteroffensive. Thousands of ships darken the void, their firepower overwhelming. But the Resistance has anticipated this. Using decoy vessels and cloaked drones, they confuse and dismantle key elements of the Imperial fleet. Advanced AI systems, repurposed from the Empire's own technology, turn their weapons against them. Chaos spreads through their ranks as ships fire on allies and entire fleets lose communication. Meanwhile, Death directs the ground assault. Using hacked Imperial transports, the Resistance infiltrates the capital's lower districts. Thousands of rebels pour into the streets, their weapons improvised but their resolve unshakable. The Empire's soldiers, conditioned to suppress unarmed civilians, falter against this wave of coordinated defiance. Strategic strikes disable power grids and shield generators, leaving the capital exposed. At the heart of the city lies the Imperial Council chamber, where the Faceless executioner and other high-ranking officials oversee the final defense. They remain confident, assured that their advanced systems and elite guards will hold. But their arrogance is their undoing. Death's final broadcast interrupts their secure communications, flooding every channel with its mechanical voice. You thought yourselves untouchable. You believed your faceless cruelty could go unchallenged. Look now upon your crumbling empire. Justice has found you. As the chamber erupts into panic, the Resistance storms the building. It is not an overwhelming force that breaks through, but a precise strike, teams guided by Death's meticulous planning. The Faceless executioner is captured alive, along with the remnants of the council. Their anonymity, once a shield, now becomes their prison as the rebels strip away their masks and broadcast their faces to the galaxy. A trial follows, held not in secret but before the same galaxy that watched the execution of 60,000 innocents. This time, it is the Empire's leaders who stand accused. The Faceless executioner remains silent, their expression unreadable as the evidence of their crimes is laid bare. The verdict is inevitable. The story ends where it began, with a broadcast. But this time, it is humanity's voice that echoes across the stars. Survivors of the rebellion speak not of vengeance but of rebuilding, of reclaiming their identity and their future. Death, its purpose fulfilled, vanishes without a trace, leaving behind only its legacy. We are not faceless. We are humanity. And we are free.